So in the last class, we discussed about the introduction to the block diagram. What is a block diagram? What are the elements of present in a block diagram? So today we discuss about simple form of a closed loop system. Simple form of a closed loop system. So what is called as a simple form? Okay, simple form of or we can call it as a canonical form, or we can call it as standard form. There are so many names which we can call it as a simple form, of standard form, of closed loop control system, or closed loop control system, whatever it is. So here, when it is called a simple form or canonical form, standard form of closed loop system, in the sense, if you have a block diagram, say for example, a block diagram in which you have one forward path. One forward path contains only one block. This is called forward path because the direction of the arrow, if you see, from the input to the output, So here I'll represent in the frequency domain. That is R of S, and this is the output. So from R of S to C of S, then it is called forward path. So if I represent a block, one block in a forward path, and feedback path contains, feedback path means from this point I'm taking the measure the output, and then that will be given back to the comparator to compare, or error detector to compare the output signal with the reference input, So here this is called as feedback path. The direction, if you look at, so it is the output is measured and then it is given back to the feedback. So in a forward path, one block contains, and in a feedback path, one block if it contains, and one summing point and one takeoff point. See here, this is called as a summing point. If you look at here, so this is called as summing point. And this is called as takeoff point. So one summing point, one takeoff point. So one summing point, one takeoff point, and one block in forward path and one block in feedback path. Then we can say the closed loop system represents the simple form or canonical form or a standard form. This is also called as minor loop. Means minor loop in the sense which has the one block in forward path, one block in feedback path, and one summing point and one takeoff point. We can call it as minor loop or simple form, standard form, canonical form. It has a number of names. Okay, so here as we discussed, the feedback signal is taken as B of S. Okay, so feedback signal is taken as B of S, and the error signal is taken as E of S, because I am representing in a frequency domain. Okay, so then this is B of S. Once again, if I say here, there are feedback systems, or negative feedback system is there, positive feedback system is there. So that's why I'll take the sign here, either it may be a negative or positive. So minus or plus I'll take. So negative feedback system or positive feedback system, and this I'll represent as G of S as a transfer function, and this I'll represent as a H of S as a transfer function of the forward block which is in the forward path, and the transfer function of the block which is in a feedback path. So this is how I represent G of S and H of S as the transfer function. So what is the transfer function also? In the last class we discussed what is the transfer function is equal to Laplace transformation of output by Laplace transformation of input response. You can say output and input. Okay, so Laplace transformation of output divided by Laplace transformation of input. So if there is a simple block is there, so then I can write as transfer function is equal to, say for example, this is R of S and this is say C of S. So transfer function is equal to C of S by R of S, because this is the output for this block and this is the input for this block. So then the transfer function of this block, transfer function of the block is can be written as C of S by R of S. Similarly, G of S is the transfer function of this block, and this can be written as C of S by E of S. C of S by E of S, it can write as. So that way we are going to represent transfer function of the each block. So this is what which you know, and here the namings which I have mentioned here is R of S, which we know already. So it is a R of t I am mentioning in the time domain, but I have converted into a frequency domain by applying just Laplace transformation. That is L of R of t is equal to R of S. So directly I am writing R of S. So R of S represents the Laplace transformation of reference input. Laplace transformation of reference input. What is the reference input? Generally we will be taking in a time domain is R of t. So that is small r of t, right? So similarly, we can represent C of S is equal to, it is a Laplace transformation of controlled output. C stands for controlled output. So that is C of t, we can say. So C of t. And similarly, for each element which are represented in the block diagram, I am going to write here. So E of S is nothing but Laplace transformation of error signal. E of t. Similarly, and I'm going to write this B of S, which is called signal, Laplace transformation of feedback signal. That is B of t. And we can write the G of S and H of S. What is the G of S and H of S is nothing but it's a transfer function. G of S is equal to, it is a equivalent forward path transfer function. So what is equivalent we'll discuss when it comes to the block diagram reduction rules. Forward path transfer function, and similarly H of S is a equivalent feedback path transfer function. So first we should know what is meant by all these terms which I have used in this minor loop, So now if you look at the simple block diagram, there is a simple form or a canonical form or whatever it is, a closed loop system. If I write all this, the derivation, that overall transfer function of this, So how to find out the overall transfer function of this block diagram? So how to find out the whole transfer, that is C of S by R of S, I need to find out. So for that we have a derivation. So first I'll write the equation of error. How to write the error equation? That is E of S. How this will be generated? This will be difference of between the reference input and the feedback signal. So E of S can be written as R of S minus or plus B of S. It is a difference. Okay. So next, what is the B of S can be written as, because B of S is nothing but feedback signal which is taken as from the output. So this is the measurement of output, means C of S. So we know H of S is equal to, here C of S is, this is the value of C of S. So this is the B of S. So input is C of S and the output is B of S. So for H of S, I can write as B of S by C of S. So if I take the transfer function formula, which is H of S is equal to, I can write the output by input. So what is the output for that H of S block? It is a B of S. And what is the input for this B of S, H of S block? C of S. So from this, B of S can be written as C of S into H of S. I can write as C of S into H of S. Similarly, I can write C of S. So similarly for the G of S transfer function, because G of S is the transfer function of the block. So G of S is equal to output by input. So what is output? Output is the C of S and the input is what? E of S for this G of S function. So I can write C of S by E of S. So from this, I can write C of s is equal to, I can write C of s is equal to E of s into G of s. I can write E of s into G of s. So these are the three equations which I have written from this block diagram. So from this block diagram, I have written these three equations. So when I write these three equations, then from these three equations, okay, so write down the B of s B of s value. I'm going to substitute in the first one. See here, I know the B of s value. I just substitute the B of s in this equation, and I know the C of s equation. Substitute in this C of s equation. Okay, so E of s is equal to, I can write as E of s is equal to R of s minus R plus. What is the B of s equation? So I'll write C of s into H of s. Once again, I'm substituting this the third equation, which is represents the C of s is equal to E of s into G of s in this equation. That is, E of s is written as now, E of s is written as now R of s minus R plus E of s into G of s, then into H of s. So this is what the original, I mean, E of s equation. So I'll just rearrange the term. Here the E of s is there, and here is also E of s is there. So just I'll rearrange the terms. So by using this error equation is also from this. What I can write is E of s is equal to C of s by G of s. From this I can write E of s is equal to C of s by G of s. So here I'll write C of s by G of s. Then E of s will become R of s into H of s. E of s will become R of s into, so E of s is equal to R of s minus R plus C of s into H of s. Here I am writing this E of s. In the E of s, I am writing as C of s by G of s. So I am writing as C of s by G of s, which is equal to R of s minus R plus C of s into H of s. So from this equation, once again, if you look at, I can take out the G of s onto the right side. I can take out the G of s onto the right side. So from this, so I'm writing here, okay, so C of s is equal to G of s into R of s minus R plus C of s into H of s. Okay, so from this, once again, I can multiply this R of s into G of s to this side, and I'll get the C of s into H of s. So from this, G of s into R of s minus R plus C of s into G of s into H of s. So if you look at this, I have two terms, which is C of s is on the left side, and also I have this C of s on the right side. So by taking onto the left hand side that C of s term, so what I can write, C of s, because this is first is minus R plus, it both cannot be exist, so it may be minus R plus. So if I take the first as minus, then if I take to the left hand side, this will become plus. So plus, then if it is the second one minus, if I have taken, then it will become as plus or minus. Then it will become as plus or minus C of s into G of s into H of s. So which is equal to, I can write as G of s into R of s is left over, right? So now from this equation, what I can take it out? I can take it out the C of s as the common. So which I can minus G of s into H of s, which is equal to G of s into R of s. Now we know what is the transfer function. So for the simple block diagram, if you look at the block diagram once again here, the simple block diagram, which has the transfer function of this. What is the input value? What is the input value of this? The s output is C of S of this block diagram. So what I can say is the transfer function of this block diagram, the simple block diagram or simple form of block diagram, will be written as C of S by R of S. So by using that, I can write the equation of transfer function of the simple block diagram, transfer function of the simple block diagram, or simple form of transfer function of the simple block diagram is written as C of S by R of S. It is written as C of S by R of S. So from the equation, so C of S is here and then R of S is here. So R of S can be taken to the left hand side and this term will be taken onto the right hand side. So from the above equation, that is C of S by R of S, means from this equation, C of S by R of S is equal to G of S by 1 plus or minus G of S into H of S. So this is the transfer function of the simple form of block diagram, or transfer function of minor loop, This is very, very, very important. So the whole block diagram which I have represented, like this, with G of S and with H of S like this, minus or plus. So this is R of S and this is C of S. This complete block diagram can be replaced or equivalent to this single block diagram, which is R of S. So complete, I can change into a simple one block. The whole thing will be, see, I can remove the summing point, I can remove the takeoff point. I have removed the summing point and I have removed the takeoff point. I have removed the one block in forward path and I have removed the one block in feedback path, and have replaced everything with one single block. So this is equivalent to this. This is how we need to reduce the complex block diagrams into a simple form. Afterwards, we can reduce to this single block, which is the transfer function. This is inside whatever you represent here is called as a transfer function. So this is what the transfer function of the given this block diagram. So this is how to reduce to minor loop, or how to reduce the simple form, how to reduce the canonical form of a block diagram from the given complicated block diagrams, So for that we are using the block diagram reduction rules. So block diagram reduction rules are very, very important. Block diagram reduction rules. So you have to remember this formula, that is C of S by R of S is equal to G of S by 1 plus or minus J of S into H of S. So if I want to bring to the simple form or a canonical form of this complicated block diagram, I need to use the reduction rules. So what are those reduction rules? So first we will go on with the rule 1. What is the rule 1? Rule 1 it says about, see, we'll go to the PPT here. When the blocks are in, first one is combine the blocks which are in cascade or in parallel. So when are in series or when are in parallel. So when I look at this block diagram, so here the G1 and G2 are connected in series. The G1 and G2 are connected in series, whereas the second block diagram, if you look at, G1 and G2 both are connected in parallel. So when you say it is connected in series and when you say it is connected in parallel, so then this complete when the blocks are connected in series, how to convert this into a simple form? Simple form in sense there should be only one block. So here this G1 and G2 are the two blocks are converted into a, how we are going to convert this. So it can be done by using the equation. Okay. Sir. Okay, sir. Choose, huh? Choose, huh? Okay. Okay. Right. So here, yeah. So similarly, first we'll discuss rule one is when the blocks are in series. 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 So when the blocks are in series, as we discussed G1 and G2 in the PPT, you have shown that G1 and G2 are connected in series. So not only two blocks, I can connect three more blocks also. I can connect G1, G2, and then G3. Likewise, I can connect a number of blocks in series. This is what you can call as when the blocks are in series. When the blocks are in series, in the complicated block diagram, you may come across this kind of situation. You may come across this kind of situation when you're representing a physical system with the block diagram. So this complicated diagram may consist of this kind of situation where the blocks are in series. When the blocks are in series, then how to find out the equivalent transfer function of this? Means if this converted into a single block. How to convert this into a single block? Say for example, if I take this, okay, I'll write g of g1, okay, and say this is g2, okay, say this is g3, okay. So this is the R of S, and here this is the output of this first block, right? This is the output of the first block. So transfer function G1 is the transfer function which I can write output by R of S. So output value is nothing but what will be here, our output value. So R of S into G1, So here similarly, so here is the output. Then G2 can be equal to output by R of S into G1. So output is equal to here R of S into G1 G2. Similarly, what is the output here? Output is equal to G3 is equal to output by R of S into G1 into G2, because this is the output, right? R of S into G1 and G2. So from this, output can be written as R of S into G1 G2 G3. So this is the output. Output is nothing but, say for example, here C of S is mentioned. I mentioned the R of S and the C of S here. So C of S by R of S is equal to the transfer function of this block diagram. This block diagram. So from this, C of S by R of S, if I write, then this will become G1 into G2 into G3. So it means that it is equivalent to R of S when the blocks are multiplied. Then the blocks are multiplied each other. G1 into G2 into G3. Okay, so this is C of S by R of S is equal to, what is the result that I got? So this is the single individual block transfer functions to be get multiplied when the blocks are in series or when the blocks are in cascade. See here, if you look at the Z1 into Z2 into G3, so it is equivalent of single block. So the three blocks has converted into a single block. This is how we need to reduce the blocks by using the rules. So this is the rule one, which is when the blocks are in series. And similarly here, he has mentioned that when the blocks are in parallel. So when the blocks are in parallel, so we'll go to the second rule. Rule 2. Blocks are in parallel. When the blocks are in parallel. So blocks are in parallel in the sense when I'm going to connect. So the parallel in the sense here I have shown that this is the Z1 and then this is a one summing point, means the signals are getting added at that particular point. And also if I have G2, like this, and then I'm going to add to the same summing point. Okay, so here the signals, if you look at the direction of the signals, So what is the direction of the signal of this signal is in forward direction, and what about this signal of this block is going to be in a forward direction. So this signal is also in a forward direction, this is also in forward direction. If both the signals are in the same direction, then we can say these two signals are parallel. When the both signals are in the same direction, we can say these two are parallel. So when these two are in parallel, so we can find out easily the sum of. So if I look at here, this is the R of S, this is the R of S, and this is also R of S, because here is also R of S. And what is the output of this? R of S into G1. And what is output of this? R of S into G2, right? So when it is coming at this particular point, these are adding at this particular point. Summing point is nothing but which are the signals are going to be added together here. So then C of S can be written as R of S into G1 plus R of S into G2. So if I take out R of S common here, G1 plus Z2 I am going to get. So it means that C of S by R of S, which is the transfer function of the given block diagram, because this is the output and this is the input. So we can say this is the transfer function of the given block diagram. So which is equal to just G1 plus G2, means this whole diagram G1, okay, that is what I have shown here. The whole block diagram will be converted into a single block, which is equivalent to just by adding the signal G1 plus C2 and then C of S. Here it is R of S. So this is equivalent to this. Means the whole thing, this block diagram, when you come across this kind of situation, then this portion is replaced. This portion is replaced with this block diagram, with this simple block diagram, because this complete complex block diagram, when you are solving this physical system, then we can replace this complex block diagram into a simple block diagram. When the blocks are in parallel, we can just add algebraically. We are going to add algebraically, means which includes the sign. Say for example, here the signal is minus. I can take it as R of S minus of R of S into G2. In this case, if this signal is negative, the signal is negative, R of S into G1 minus R of S into G2. So here G1 minus G2 will come. If in the case of negative is there. So that's what I mentioned algebraically. Algebraically means which includes the sign of this signal also. So negative signal or positive signal, if it is there, then it is going to be changes. Okay. So this is what when the blocks are in parallel. Similarly, here if you look at the moving summing point behind the block. So here you can, one more rule, moving the summing point behind the block. And whenever you are moving to the summing right hand side or left hand side, then you can just output should not change the sense. So you have to keep output should be remain same. Kept output remains same. Then we need to, without affecting the output, we need to change the complex block diagram into simple block diagram. So here first one, rule 3 is I can say it is a shifting a summing point behind the block. So here, what is the summing point? Because in a block diagram, you'll be having like this. Say for example, there is R of S and you have a block here, G of S, and you have a summing point over here. Okay, and this is the C of S. Say for example, I want to shift this summing point behind the block, means behind this block means from here to I want to transfer to here, means that summing point has to be relocated or transfer onto the left side, means shifting summing point behind the block, So without affecting the output, as I told that, without affecting the output. So what is that without affecting the output? In the sense, if you look at this, this is, say for example, this is the signal which I have a y, okay, the signal which is the value of y, say for example, and it is going to be r of s into g of s here, r of s into g of s here. So both signals are going to be added. So I can write in a simple form rg plus y, r of s into g of s into, r of s into g of s plus y. So because both signals are added at this particular point, and the output is going to be here like this. So when I'm trying to, without changing the output, just if I lift, if I shift this summing point, what will happen? Just have a look at here. What is happen to the output? What is going to be happen to the output? So this is g of s, and just I have a c of s here, okay, and this is the signal is y. See, I have not done anything, done. But what about the output in this case? So r of s plus y, because at this point r plus y I am going to get r of s plus y, right? What is the, this is the of s and this is the signal is y. So both will be added at this summing point. The output of the summing point is going to be r plus y. So this will be the input to this. This will be the input to this. So this is the output. So what is the output I am going to get here? C of s. C of s is equal to r plus y into g of s. R plus y into g of s will give the signal output. So this is the C of s equal to r into g of s, or r into g, or r into g, okay, plus what? Y into g. So rg plus yg. So what is the output here I got? There is a change in the output. There is a change in the value of the C of s, because rg plus y is the actual. This is the actual, okay. So this is the modified one. This is the modified, means, and just for our convenience, for calculation, I want to shift the summing point. So that the system will. So when I want to shift the summing point, so before I told that it should not affect the output. So here the g, where it is y is there. So if this g should not be present in the output. So for that, what I have to do, if I multiply this g with 1 by g, then what will happen? So this g and this g will be cancelled out. I'll be getting r into g plus y. So now the output will become same. So what I need to do is, when I'm taking this 1 by g is multiplied, when the blocks are in series, we got to know that in rule 1, the block gains are multiplied, right? So the block shifting this, when I'm shifting to this, the small change is required here is to keep a block gain value of 1 by g, here, and then I'm going to give like this. So now what is the output if I look at here? So this is r of s. So r plus 1 by g I'm going to get here. So then this is the C of s. So C of s is equal to r plus 1 by g into g. So what will happen? C of s is equal to r into g. Okay, plus y is also there, y by g. Okay, this is y by g. Okay, this is y by g. So now r into g plus y by g into g. So g will be cancelled out. My output will be r into g plus y. So which is the same as the actual one, So what is the actual one? Rg plus y. What is the actual one? Rg plus y. So here also I got Rg plus y, means what it says, when you are trying to shift the summing point, towards this, behind this block, you need to incorporate a block gain value of reciprocal to this block, which is the g here, reciprocal to this block. So g, if it is there, g1 is there, 1 by g1, g2 is there, 1 by g2, g3 is there, 1 by g3. Likewise, the reciprocal over which you are shifting that summing point, that block gain, reciprocal of that block gain will be included in this y signal, That is very, very important, which you need to change a modification before shifting the summing point. So once you shift the summing point here, you need to represent 1 by G value, reciprocal of the block gain value over which you are shifting. That you have to mention this in the block diagrams. Okay. So this is the rule 3. So all the rules are very important while solving the problem, so that we can get to know how it can be solved. So, and we know that minor loop, right, okay. So blocks are in series, blocks are in parallel, and shifting a summing point behind the block. Next we will go to the shifting a summing point beyond the block. Beyond the block means, say for example, my summing point is here, R, and here is the Y, okay, and I have G here, and then C of S here, okay. So if I want to shift this after the block or beyond the block, okay, this side I want to shift, this side I want to shift. Now look at the output. What is the output? Actual output. So actual output of the system, if I look at this, thus R plus Y is the output of this, okay, then C of S is equal to R plus Y into G. So RG plus YG I'm going to get, right? So if I just simply shift without changing, what will happen? Just I look at this R into G, okay, here is my summing point, and then this is going to be Y. So I have shifted now. I have shifted now. But while shifting, simply you should not shift without affecting changing the outputs. That is very important. So if I look at this, this is RG, this is the RG value, and this is the Y value. So I'll be getting RG plus Y is the output. So RG plus Y I'm going to get. So here this is the output of this signal and this block diagram, and this is the output of this block diagram. So this is the actual block diagram. So this should not be changed. So what is the leftover here? If I multiply this with G, if I multiply with this Z, means this signal value is Y. For the signal value of Y, if I multiply with the block gain of G, then this will become RG plus YZ. So this is equivalent to, by keeping R and then G, then a modification to be done to this signal by incorporating the same block gain value. See here, this is Z and this is also Z. In the previous, when the blocks are, when I'm shifting the summing point, behind the block, reciprocal we have taken. When I'm shifting the summing point beyond the block or after the block, this is the block and after the block, so then the same block gain will be added in series with the signal. The same block gain will be added in series with the signal. That is, what is the value of this? RG, and what is the value of this? YG. So RG plus YG will become the C of S. So now what is the output of this? RG plus YG. What is the output of this? RG plus YG. So I have shifted the summing point without changing this output, So that is what required. So what modification we have done? When I'm trying to shift the summing point beyond the block or after the block, then I have to add a small block gain value with the same over which I'm shifting. So over block, say if it is G1, then this will become G1. If it is G2, then this will become G2. So likewise, it has to be added in this particular signal. In this Y signal, we need to add so that the output will not affect. So this is how the block diagram rules are going to be used. Okay. So till now we have discussed the 4 rules. One is the when blocks are in parallel, when the blocks are in series, when the blocks are in when the summing point is shifting towards the right and summing point shifting towards the left. All these 4 rules we have discussed. And also very important, one more is takeoff point. Similarly to the takeoff point. So first we will discuss the takeoff point. Takeoff point behind the block. Now, takeoff point. Rule number 5. Takeoff point. Takeoff point shifting. Takeoff point shifting. We can say behind the block. Okay, first behind the block. Similarly, how we are done for the summing point. So we'll shift the takeoff point behind the block. So there is a takeoff signal. Takeoff signal generally the output signal, right? The takeoff signal is nothing but output signal. And here I have taken a takeoff point, and then this is the takeoff signal for measuring the output, right? So here y I am going to take. So the what is the output of this signal is, so what is that output of signal? Say if it is c is equal to c of s or c is equal to r into j my and of s point. This is going to take for measuring the feedback, measuring the output. So y is equal to r only, but the feedback signal value should not affect this. Just shifting the takeoff point as you like, it will not work out. So what modification need to be done? So here it has to be multiplied with the z, multiplied with the z. If I multiply with this z r signal, then I'm going to get a y is equal to r into z. So what I'm doing is here I'm going to add, it is equivalent to just shifting, this is the r, and to this y signal, I'm going to keep a g here, and this is going to be a g here, and this is r into g, which is equal to c. Okay, similarly here this r should not change, that's why I should not add in this line, I should add only in this line. So here, from here, takeoff is going to be r only, so g I'm going to add in this signal, so then y will become r into g. So this is y is equal to r into g, this is y is equal to r into g. So now I have not changed the output of the feedback signal, I have not changed the output of the feedback signal such a way that I have shifted toward the left side, This takeoff point has changed to the left side without affecting the feedback signal value here. Output is not changing here, anyhow output is not changing, r is g and rg here only. So but feedback signal is changing, so even the feedback signal also should not change while shifting the takeoff point towards the left. So what is to be done when we want to shift the takeoff point to the left side? The block gain, that is the g over which you are shifting, that same block gain value will be added in this signal. Block is incorporated in this signal in series with the signal, This is what we need to know. Similarly, when the takeoff point is shifting towards the right side means takeoff point, next rule is takeoff point shifting beyond the block or towards the right side. Okay, beyond the block means toward the right side. Toward the right side in the sense I have a, say for example, this is the r and I have a takeoff point here, say for example for measuring the feedback signal y, and then this is the g, and I have the output is equal to c is equal to what is going to be happen, c is equal to rg only, So if I want to shift this takeoff point to this side, that is if I want to shift without changing any, say if I change like this, what will happen? So my y value will be changes, but the output is r into g only, so that is equal to c, but here y will be, but what is the actual y here? R only. So this should not change here, So in order to get the r value, y is equal to r value, then g should be multiplied by what? 1 by z. This g will be cancelled out, so that I'll get y is equal to r. So it means that I need to add a reciprocal value of the block gain 1 by g to this. So this here at this point rg, then rg into 1 by g will become r. So I need to incorporate a block to this signal, which is the reciprocal of the block over which I am shifting the takeoff point. So if I shift the takeoff point towards the right, the reciprocal of the block, over which you are shifting should be incorporated in series with the signal, takeoff signal, So if it is G2, then 1 by G2. If it is G1, 1 by G1. If it is G3, 1 by G3. Likewise, the takeoff point when you are shifting like this, then straight away you need to incorporate the reciprocal of the block gain value so that your output of the feedback signal will not change. So the very important points which you have to remember all this, what will be happen if you shift the takeoff point towards the right or shift the takeoff point towards the left, summing point towards the right, summing point towards the left, when the blocks are in series, when the blocks are in parallel. So all this we have learned now. And very important, and which is not much calculation is not involved in the one is called as associative law. So associative law in the sense, the last one, associative law. Associative law holds good for the summing points. Associative law holds good for summing points. This is also one more rule. Associative law holds good for summing points. Means, what is that? So associative A plus B is equal to B plus A, right? So A plus B is equal to B plus A. That we can say additive associative law, and the multiplicative associative law, A into B is equal to B into A. Means if I reverse, this is say for example summing point 1, and this is say for example summing point 2. If I interchange this from here to here and from here to here, means, so this is say equivalent S2 here and S1 here. So I can interchange, this is equivalent without any effect. I can interchange this two summing point like this. That's what associative law holds good. Means in between nothing should be there. This is that representation. I have only the direct contact. If it is the summing point 1 is summing point 2, both are connected directly. Then we can interchange. Then we can use the associative law only. If there is suppose if I have a block in between them, this is summing point 1 and this is summing point 2, then I cannot interchange this one. Okay, so I cannot interchange in this case. Only when it is connected directly, like this, the summing point and summing point 2, then I can interchange like this. This is holds good, but this is not holds good. So that is very important, associative law. And finally, one more rule is there, that is called as minor loop rule. So which we discussed what is meant by minor loop in the beginning of the class. That is, minor loop is nothing but or feedback loop. We can call it as or feedback loop also. So in this, there is one summing point and one block in forward path, okay, and one block in feedback path, that is edge, okay, and one takeoff point. So the R of S and C of S, say it is minus or plus. So this whole block diagram can be equal to which you have derived the equation, that is in a single block we have mentioned. That is what one formula in the beginning of the class I have told, that is G of S by 1 plus or minus G of S into H of S. Okay, so this is equal, just conversion of this, because the derivation which I have done already, so I'm not doing once again here. So straight away I can write that the transfer function of this whole block. See here, if you look at this, there is no summing point here now, there is no takeoff point present here. So all are removed and replaced. This whole block diagram into this R of signal is present there only. See, R of signal is present here only. C of signal is present here only. Yes, C of signal is present here, but summing point is not there, G is not there, H is not there, takeoff point is not there, this feedback complete is not there. So this whole thing has converted into a single block, which is g of s by 1 plus or minus g of s into h of s, 1 plus or minus g of s into h of s. This is how we can convert this minor loop or feedback loop into a single block. So this is the one more rule. So two more rules are there that we will discuss in the next class. Okay. So anyhow, the quiz is enabled now. Okay. So all of you attempt the quiz. Please enter the USN in the chat box. Those who have not entered till now, and please leave the class. Please leave the class. And go to the Google Classroom.